The final command came at 11:47 p.m. Alexa, execute protocol final. Within 3 seconds, every smart device in the house activated. The Nest thermostat suddenly spiked to 94 degrees. Philips Hue lights began flickering at a frequency barely perceptible to the human eye. The Samsung smart refrigerator emitted a high-frequency sound. Sonos speakers broadcast 18 Hz infrasound, a frequency inaudible to ears but capable of vibrating internal organs. And at the top of the stairs, Sarah Mitchell clutched her head. The room was spinning. Her legs were shaking. Her balance was gone. She fell. Her husband, downstairs, sat at his laptop. He was smiling, because everything was happening exactly as he'd programmed it 6 months ago. Sarah's death would look like an accident. But the truth was this: her husband had killed her with their own home. When Sam Reeves entered Sarah and James Mitchell's home, she was amazed. The house was like a technology showroom. Amazon Echo in every room, Google Nest Hub in the kitchen, Samsung SmartThings Hub in the living room, Philips Hue lights on the ceiling, Ring camera at the door, August smart lock, Sonos speakers, Arlo security cameras. "Why so many devices?" Sam said to David. "James is a tech enthusiast," Emma said. "Every time a new gadget came out, he'd buy it," Sarah complained. "She'd say the house is like a robot, but James would insist." Sam approached the Amazon Echo. "Alexa, show recordings." Alexa's blue light turned on. "I don't have any recordings to show." Sam frowned. "Impossible. Alexa records every voice command." She opened her laptop, logged into the Amazon account, Sarah's account. Emma had given her the password. She opened the voice history tab. "Empty. Deleted," Sam said. "Everything deleted. Last 6 months. No recordings. Is that normal?" Emma said. "No," Sam said. "People sometimes delete for privacy, but deleting everything, suspicious. But Amazon keeps cloud backups. Deleted recordings stay in the cloud for 30 days. And if there's a legal request, we can access older ones too." David called his old FBI contact Morrison. "Frank, I need a subpoena for Amazon. There's probably a murder here." 2 days later, Amazon sent the data package. When Sam opened the files, she held her breath. 32,847 voice commands in 6 months. In Sarah and James's home, Sam arranged the timeline chronologically, starting from January 2024. January looked normal. "Alexa, set timer 10 minutes. Alexa, play music. Alexa, what's the weather?" But in February, strange commands started. February 3rd, 2:34 a.m. "Alexa, activate thermal protocol." Sam clicked the recording, James's voice. Middle of the night. Sarah was probably sleeping. Alexa's response: "Thermal protocol activated." What protocol? Sam looked at that night's Nest thermostat logs. The temperature had suddenly jumped to 82 degrees. It stayed at 82 degrees for 3 hours, then dropped to 58 degrees. 1 hour, then back to 82. The next day, Sarah had a journal entry. Emma had provided it. "Slept terribly last night. It was so hot, then so cold. Didn't James check the thermostat? It's like it's out of control." February 5th. "Alexa, activate sound protocol." That night, Sonos speakers had started broadcasting 18 Hz infrasound, a frequency the human ear can't hear, but one that affects the body, a frequency that creates nausea, dizziness, anxiety. Sarah's journal: "Feeling strange today, nauseous, dizzy. Made a doctor's appointment." February 10th. "Alexa, activate light protocol." Philips Hue lights had started flickering at 40 Hz, barely perceptible to the eye, but capable of causing migraines and dizziness. Sarah's journal: "My migraine is back. Even medication isn't helping. The lights bother me, but James says they're normal." February 15th. "Alexa, activate vibration protocol." SmartThings sensors. Samsung smart devices had started emitting subtle vibrations, imperceptible but frequencies that disrupt the vestibular system. Sarah's journal. Lost my balance. I stumble when walking. Doctor ran tests. Said everything's normal. But I'm not normal. Something is very wrong. And then, February 17th, 11:47 p.m. Alexa, execute protocol final. Sam played the recording. James's voice, calm, cold, almost excited. Alexa, executing protocol final. 3 seconds later, every device activated simultaneously. Nest, sudden jump from 58 to 94 dial. Philips Hue 40 Hz flicker at maximum. Sonos, 18 Hz infrasound at maximum volume. Smart Things, vibration protocol at maximum. Samsung refrigerator, high frequency sound. Sarah's final voice was recorded. Alexa, help. I'm dizzy. Scream, sound of falling. Silence, 11:52 p.m. James's voice. Alexa, stop all. Devices shut down. 11:53 p.m. James's voice in a different tone, sounding panicked. Alexa, call 911. But Sam knew that panic was fake, because at 11:47 p.m., James had calmly initiated his wife's death. Sam called David. Her hands were trembling. David, this is murder. Premeditated, systematic. He tortured her for 6 months, with smart devices. Then he said, execute protocol final, and his wife died. David was silent on the phone. Then, save everything. I'm calling the FBI, and I'm also calling Marcus Chen, because this level of premeditation requires psychological profiling. When Marcus Chen reviewed Sam's findings, he realized this was one of the coldest murders he'd ever seen. This man, Marcus said, killed his wife slowly over 6 months. No physical violence, no chemical poison, just technology. Thermostat, sound, light, vibration, each harmless individually, but in combination, applied systematically, they can destroy a person. Why? David said, because he wanted to plan the perfect murder. No physical evidence, no wounds, toxicology will be clean. Just poor woman fell downstairs. And James plays the grieving husband. Sam opened her laptop. It's worse. James didn't just use protocols, he installed custom firmware on every device. On screen appeared a GitHub repository. James's account, private repo. But Sam had hacked it. Code titled Smart Home Murder Suite. Thousands of lines. Python, JavaScript, custom firmware. Special code for every smart device. Thermal attack script for Nest thermostat. Strobe frequency optimizer for Philips Hue. Infrasound generator for Sonos. Vibration protocol for Smart Things. And at the top, a README file. Phase 1. Acclimation. Week 1-2. Subtle changes. Victim adapts. Phase 2. Escalation. Week 380. Increase intensity. Create chronic symptoms. Phase 3. Medical gaslighting. Week 9-16. Victim seeks help. Doctors find nothing. Victim doubts self. Phase 4. Dependency. Week 17-20. Victim weakened. Relies on spouse. Phase 5. Execution. Week 21-24. Trigger final event. Ensure fatality. Delete evidence. After reading the file, Marcus closed his eyes. This is a manifesto, a plan. He documented every phase. He saw Sarah as a test subject and tried to create a perfect murder. Why document in such detail? David said. Isn't that stupid? Narcissism, Marcus said. He's in love with himself. Wants to show off his intelligence. Maybe wanted to sell it to others. Dark web smart home murder service or something. Or just pride. He wanted to say, I created the perfect murder. Sam opened another file. And look at this. Test runs, video recordings, in James's house. But Sarah wasn't there. James was testing his smart home system, recording himself changing the thermostat temperature, testing on himself 5 minutes, then stopping. Too intense, he said in the video. Need to lower to 90% for gradual effect. Another video. James standing at the top of the stairs, eyes closed, saying execute protocol final. Devices activating, feeling dizzy, holding on, stopping. Perfect, he said, smiling. Exactly as calculated. At 94 degrees, 40 Hz strobe, 18 Hz infrasound, average human loses balance in 12 to 18 seconds. Stairs ensure fatal impact. Sam closed the video. Her stomach was churning. This is enough, David said. We're getting an arrest warrant. FBI arrested James Mitchell on the morning of February 23rd, at his home, at his laptop, working on a new project titled Smart Home Suite v2.0. James Mitchell, you're under arrest for the murder of Sarah Mitchell. James didn't look surprised. He just smiled. What's your evidence? Everything, Morrison said. Alexa recordings, GitHub repository, test videos, custom firmware, 6 months of systematic torture, and execute protocol final. James's smile disappeared. In the interrogation room, David and Marcus sat across from James. Didn't you love Sarah? Marcus said. Love is overrated, James said. Sarah was boring. She complained. Too many gadgets, James. Turn off the devices, James. She didn't understand the power of technology. So you killed her. I didn't kill her, James said coldly. The house killed her. I just directed it. Conducted a scientific experiment. Tested how the human body reacts to environmental stressors. You experimented on your wife, Marcus said, disgusted. Scientific method, James said. Hypothesis, controlled environmental manipulation can disrupt a person's vestibular system, create dizziness, and trigger a fatal accident. Result, hypothesis confirmed. David leaned forward. Are you a murderer or just a psychopath? Neither, James said. I'm an innovator. Smart home technology is used defensively, security, comfort. I developed offensive use, a weapon, an undetectable weapon. We detected it, David said. James raised his eyebrows. Because I made a stupid mistake. Forgot to delete cloud backups. But in B2.0, I fixed that error. Local encryption, cloud sync disabled, auto-delete protocols, perfected it. Marcus shook his head. You're not even remorseful about Sarah's death. Remorse is an emotion, James said. I work with logic. Sarah was a problem. I solved the problem efficiently. David stopped the recording. This tape will be played in court. The jury will see a murderer, a psychopath, and they'll send you to prison for life. James smiled. Maybe, but history will remember me. The first smart home murderer, the first IoT assassin. I'm a pioneer. James Mitchell's trial began in May 2024. Federal court. Charges: first-degree murder, premeditated murder, tampering with evidence, conspiracy. The prosecutor presented evidence. Sam Reeves explained the IoT forensics report. Alexa recordings were played. When the execute protocol final command echoed through the courtroom, jury members shuddered. Marcus Chen presented the psychological profile. This man systematically tortured his wife for 6 months. Not physical tortured, technological torture. Sleep disrupted every night, dizziness every day, discomfort every hour. And finally, at a calculated moment, he triggered her death. This is the coldest type of premeditated murder. The GitHub repository was shown. Test videos were played. James's own voice. Perfect. Exactly as calculated. The defense attorney argued that the technology could have malfunctioned, that James was just a hobbyist, that Sarah had genuinely fallen by accident, but the evidence was too strong. The jury deliberated for 2 hours and 34 minutes. Verdict: guilty on all charges. The judge announced the sentence: life in prison. No possibility of parole. As James Mitchell was led out of the courtroom in handcuffs, he was still smiling. Outside the courthouse, Emma Reeves hugged David. Thank you. If it weren't for you, no one would have believed it. Everyone would have said accident, and James would have gone free. Sarah deserved justice, David said, and she got it. But the story doesn't end here. James Mitchell's case created a worldwide alarm about smart home security. Amazon, Google, Samsung, Philips all released emergency security updates, protections preventing custom firmware installations, systems monitoring cloud backup deletions, AI detecting abnormal device behavior. The FBI established a new unit, IoT Crime Division. Smart homes, wearable devices, connected cars, they realized all could be potential weapons. And most importantly, people gained awareness. In 2024, 67 million Americans use smart home devices. Alexa, Google Home, smart thermostats, connected cameras, all talking to the internet, all accepting commands, and all hackable. James Mitchell spent 6 months killing his wife, wrote custom firmware, developed protocols, tested, planned. But an ordinary hacker, using the same techniques, could infiltrate your home, control your thermostat, watch your cameras, unlock your doors, and you might not even notice. How do you protect yourself? First, change default passwords. Don't use admin password. Unique, strong password for every device. Second, enable two-factor authentication, especially on cloud accounts, Amazon, Google, Samsung. Third, only do firmware updates from official sources, never install custom firmware. Fourth, check device logs. If you see abnormal activity, midnight temperature changes, unexpected commands, investigate. Fifth, network segmentation. Keep smart home devices on a separate Wi-Fi network, computer and phones on a different network. Sixth, physical security. If someone gains physical access to your home, they can hack devices, control who you trust. James Mitchell thought he could create the perfect murder with technology. He was wrong, because technology also creates evidence. Alexa heard everything, the cloud recorded everything, and digital forensics found everything. But the next James Mitchell might be smarter, might not forget to delete cloud backups, might use more advanced encryption, might leave fewer traces. So be careful, because your home should protect you, not kill you. Sarah Mitchell thought she was safe in her own home. She was wrong. Don't be wrong. Sarah would never fall downstairs, Emma Reeves said, sitting in David Harrington's office. She was such a careful person. She always held the handrail, always. David took notes. What did the police say? Accident. Simple accident. But I know James. He changed after marrying Sarah. Became cold. In the last 6 months, Sarah kept complaining about dizziness. She went to doctors. They found nothing. And then she fell. Does anyone else suspect? No. Everyone's saying tragic accident. But David, everything in Sarah's house is smart. Every device is connected to the internet. I thought if something happened, there'd be a record. And I heard you specialize in tech crimes. David leaned back. Smart home devices usually keep logs, but most companies only store them for 24-48 hours. Sarah died 4 days ago. Then it'll be difficult, but not impossible. Amazon, Google, Samsung, they might have cloud backups. If you give me permission, I can look at the house. Emma wiped her eyes. Please, because if James did this, if he killed my sister, someone needs to know. David called Sam Reeves. February 17th, 2024, 11:52 p.m. The 911 operator heard James Mitchell screaming. My wife fell. She fell down the stairs. Please help. The ambulance arrived in 8 minutes, but it was too late. Sarah Mitchell, 34 years old, lay at the bottom of the stairs with a broken neck. Her eyes were open, but she wasn't seeing. Police asked James questions. What happened? I don't know, James said through tears. She was upstairs. I heard a scream. I ran, and I saw her, there, not moving. The house was clean, modern, expensive, smart devices in every corner. Amazon Echo in the kitchen, Google Nest thermostat on the wall, Samsung SmartThings sensors in every room, Philips Hue lights everywhere, August smart lock on the door. Police recorded it as an accident. Stairway fall. Tragic but ordinary. 12,000 Americans die falling down stairs every year. Case closed. But Sarah's sister Emma knew something was wrong.